So you join me today. I am here with a brand new surprise for you. It's a BMW M8 competition Gran Coupe. I probably shouldn't be sitting on it. It is brand new, no PPF on the paint, but this is the new daily that I'll be rolling around in for the next few days, weeks, months, maybe years if I fall in love with it. So far, I am thoroughly surprised. Not only does it handle well, it drives well, it's also mighty impressive looking. A lot of people take pictures of this car, and I think that's because you don't see them that often. So on this video, I'm going to take you on a journey through, I was going to say outer space, but through UK weather, and we're going to explore why I think the BMW M8 competition is the most underrated BMW you can get. First thing I'm going to do is take you around the outside of the car. Obviously, this is the Gran Coupe, so you get 4 doors, which means enough space to seat my child in the back. That's important for me in a daily car. As you know, I have several supercars, so I don't need a 2-door daily. It just doesn't make sense for my life. If you have one car in your life and you don't have kids, maybe. I know the Coupe has 4 seats as well, but getting a child seat in the back or getting a human being in the back is quite difficult, whereas when you have 4 access points, it makes it significantly easier. I always do this, like I'm jumbling my words. The colour I have this car is called David's Grey. I believe that's how it's pronounced. It's a grey colour. In this lighting, you can't see the metal fleck in it, but it has like a goldy fleck in it, so when the sun hits it, you get those nice gold sparkles. I think it looks cool. You also have a customary M car competition carbon roof, so I don't believe you can get the M8 even with a panoramic, but the carbon roof does it nicely because it adds those powerful haunches to it. If you come over to the front of the car, you get this wonderful M-specific grille with a lot of intakes, so you can get that ventilation you need. As you can see, the radiators behind that. So this just allows the car to have the significant amount of performance upgrade that it does have. So this 4.4 litre M V8 provides the car with 620 horsepower and 725 newton meters of torque. That means you can pretty much overtake anything. If we go close up here, we have the headlights that I think look absolutely gorgeous. They accentuate the modernism that's behind this car. The modern part of this car pretty much ends on the outside, but I'll get to the inside in a second. If we come over to the side, we have these wonderful M-specific wheels, painted clean. As you can see, this car here is on steel brakes. That's because it's a daily and I will not be taking it on track. But the issue with steel brakes is that you get this brake dust that accumulates every single time you drive the car. It is a heavy car weighing at 2,100 kg. That means that the brakes need a lot of stopping power to perform well. They get the job done, but trade-off is that you get this brake dust. So if you don't want brake dust, the short story is basically get the carbon brakes. Over to the side here, we have this vent. It looks like it's designed to relieve pressure from the wheel well, but it's not. It is just fake. It looks cool. I have no issue with fake things as long as they look cool and as long as they look like they have a purpose. This may not have a purpose, but I like it anyway. You also have the M-specific mirrors. They give you this aerodynamic cut in them. Along the side of the car, I'll open it up again. It has this wonderful badge here that says Carbon Core. What that means, I have no idea. So here's a cutaway of what Carbon Core means in BMW language now. If we go over to the rear of the car, it has this wonderful ducktail effect thanks to this spoiler. You can get this spoiler in carbon if you have the carbon pack. This car does not have the carbon pack. Again, I have a lot of supercars. I have a lot of carbon surrounding my life. It's not going to make a difference on a daily car, so it's not necessary here, although some people might try and say it is. If I push here, you have the trunk, which is power assisted. When I first opened it, I thought this section would open up as well, but it doesn't. But in the back, you have enough space to fit a human being. This is my second time entering the trunk of this car. It doesn't get any easier, but see, I fit comfortably. I wouldn't close it because I would not be able to get out as I struggle to get out. You also have these 4 tailpipes here. I believe they're about 100 millimeters in diameter, and it produces a nice sound that you heard earlier, but for the fun of it, you're gonna hear it again right now. But after that, I've got a little surprise for you that involves McLaren and Lego, so stay tuned. So as I was saying earlier, here's a little surprise for you. Basically, I went to McLaren headquarters for a Lego event. Right now, I'm in a McLaren 750S with this wonderful gentleman from McLaren, and I'm going to bring you the latest on this McLaren X Lego event. So as I pulled up to McLaren, there was their Lego Senna collab, which is like a full-size car. There's Paul from Supercars of London, and they were announcing the brand new Lego Technic McLaren P1. P1 in this wonderful yellow color, and there's the real P1 right next to it. They then gave us the opportunity to build one ourselves or start building the door. This is where I got to on mine. I kind of built a door. It's kind of just like the crash structure. And this is what it should look like, because it was built by an expert that knew exactly what he was doing. This is actually my first time building a Lego Technic car. I've always wanted to do it, but I just haven't got around to it, and it was nice to have this opportunity to get to grips with it. I found it super therapeutic. It just made me feel very relaxed. Even though we're in an environment where I was being a bit competitive and I wanted to get mine built first, it was fun to do this. And it's so cool because this car has all the details of the actual McLaren P1. So even things like the spoiler, the engine and everything are built down to scale, and look how intricate it is. Like, everything there is a part that's in the actual car, and it's just shrunken down on this Lego Technic scale. It's super detailed, and I feel like this is the closest that you can get to owning a McLaren P1, or the next best thing at least. Oh, is that the box? That looks very exotic, I must say. So when you order the Lego Technic McLaren, this is the box that it comes in. I can't wait to get mine. Look at that. P1. I might just leave it in the box and never open it, but this is pretty cool. I like this. At this stage of the event, I took the opportunity to walk around the actual P1 to just to compare the details, and it was very, 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 very accurate, the Lego Technic model. It had everything from the adjustable spoiler, the gearbox at the rear, the intricate exhaust system, the diffuser underneath, all the way down to the engine, suspension, and components you don't even get to see. After building the door, we actually had the door mechanism identical to the way it is on the actual P1, and then the interior is as close as it could possibly be when being made out of Lego Technic pieces. It was just awesome. Like, I was honestly blown away, and I'm just a bit disappointed in myself that I didn't start my Lego Technic journey earlier. So that event was a few days ago, and guess what arrived for me? I'm ecstatic about this because I cannot wait to get started. It is my very own Lego Technic McLaren P1. I'm super excited about this. Yeah, I'm gonna get started on it. I am hoping to have this done shortly. Like I was saying in the video, I find it really therapeutic, and the Lego Technic McLaren like pairs like my passion with that, like relaxation. And so I'm really excited to get started. Hopefully the next time you guys see me, that will be built. And if not, the next time after that. That's pretty much the outside of the car. Oh, these wonderful LEDs, they're cool. I'm gonna jump in the driver's seat. You're gonna jump in the passenger. It's raining, so I'm gonna take you through the interior. Hello again. So we're in the interior of the BMW M8 Competition Gran Coupe. As you can see, you have the M-specific steering wheel with your M1 and M2 buttons. It makes you feel like you're in a Back to the Future, selecting your drive mode, or in Fast and Furious, about to hit that NOS, like shh. But no, it just changes the drive mode of the car to your preferential setup. I think all cars should have those buttons, but they do not, as my phone pings off because someone probably called me. I'll take you through the infotainment system. This is what it looks like. It's the previous generation infotainment system, not the modern iDrive 8 that we have in the new cars. It works well. It just is very old now, so it means that it just feels a tiny bit dated. That's what I was saying. The exterior of this car looks very modern. The interior looks slightly less modern, just based off the fact that the infotainment is quite old. One thing that old infotainment comes with that some may say is a bonus is physical touch buttons. You don't have a lot of these days. These seats are ultimately the most comfortable performance seats I've ever experienced. They feel luxurious, and they have this wonderful M8 badge that I'm told lights up, but for some reason I can't get it to light up. You have a heated steering wheel, quilting, and all these luxurious materials on the door. It's a lot more luxurious than the BMW M3 Competition I had, which obviously is a lower status car in the BMW hierarchy. And you also have metal for your fixtures, which is nice compared to plastic that I had in the M3 Competition. Again, no sunroof, but you have Alcantara up here, and then a significant amount of space in the back, separated by this wonderful transmission tunnel. You can get 3 people in the rear of this car. The person in the middle is just gonna have to have wide legs. Not in that way, but in, anyway. As we come back to the interior of the car, I love it. It's good. Everything is very clear. Even the infotainment in front of the driver's display cluster, very clear, very nice. It's very good. It has no fuel, so we're gonna go and get some fuel. I'll talk to you more about how this car drives. Before we get going, my setup for driving this car might be a controversial one. I like the engine in sport, transmission in auto, chassis in comfort, steering in comfort, braking in comfort. The reason for that is that I feel like when you put the braking in anything other than comfort, it becomes way too sharp for a 2,000 kilogram family car. So my gate's closing on me. So now I'm at the petrol station. Let's see how much it costs to fill up a BMW M8 Competition from empty, and we'll see how many miles that gives me and try and figure out the miles per gallon. So a lot of people don't realize there's gloves at petrol stations to stop your hands getting on those germy fuel pumps, and also to stop your hands smelling like fuel. I like to put them on, not because I'm a germaphobe, but I just don't like touching other people's hand germs. I assume this is going to have a massive tank because it's a Gran Tourer, so I'm expecting 90 litres. So BMW recommends Shell V-Power, and this isn't a Shell. This isn't a Shell garage. Oh, that's a really small tank. So maybe so what's probably happened here? Main tank 70 litres. Reserve in this car is probably 10 to 15 litres. So 85 litre tank. It's good enough. I'm at the petrol station now, bumped into this C63, owned by someone called Zach. He doesn't want to be on camera, but this is my favourite version of the C-Class and favourite version of the C63. It's not quiet at all. So the M8 competition, now that it's got full fuel, it believes I'm going to do 290 miles on a tank, which I'm not sure if I will. But if I do, I'll be mightily impressed, although I'm probably not going to drive it in a way where I'll be able to do that kind of miles per gallon, 25 to be exact. One thing I did realize is that once you put the gearbox into performance mode, the shifts become quite aggressive. Look at the handling. Wow, you wouldn't believe this car's 2 tons. Look, effortless. I would have drifted around that corner, but public roads and that. Quite jerky, which gives you the impression of speed. What I think it's doing there is continuing to fuel, but cutting the throttle. So when the throttle comes back on, gives that little boost. I think they call it boost shifting. But yeah, it feels good. But when you're around town, it's nice and smooth. The only issue I have with a torque converter gearbox is when you downshift, it can be quite slushy. So for example, upshift, nice, downshift, very like, not great for performance. Cruising along now, again, supreme comfort. When you're on smoother roads, the car's absolutely fine. When you're on the motorway, it's fine. It does all the big power stuff really well. Because the amount of power the car has, it means that if you ever need to overtake someone, it's pretty easy. So if I stab the throttle now, so much power. The steering wheel, although great at the cruising stuff, it does feel a bit numb. There's a huge dead spot in it that I don't really enjoy, but again, it is a 2.1 ton car. On country roads, the car just fine. It feels hooked up, feels like it's got grip. That weight actually comes kind of to your advantage here, so you always stay planted, you don't feel like you're bopping around. All in all, driving this car, the experience, I know I've said a lot of negatives, I'm trying to be impartial because I actually really love this car. Driving it around on roads, all in all, perfect. There's no issue I can think of with the car. It's a little bit firm, but if it's too firm for you, don't get the M1, get the regular 8 Series, that will be less firm. This just means that you have the ability to do sporty stuff and cruising stuff quite well. It's a nice in-between car. I haven't got any issues with it on the road. The torque pickup is nice. There's not too much turbo lag. When you want to go, it goes. I don't know how to launch control BMWs, but I think I will have time to figure that out at some point today. The car sounds great. I know people complain cars are quiet now and cars are muffled. I think this is a nice medium. I know some of the interior sound is fake though, I could just tell. Doesn't sound too obnoxious. I'm gonna try and launch it. Oh, Jesus. That wasn't launch control, that was just brake boosting. I can't figure out how to do launch control in BMWs. I need to do some reading on that. Hold M mode. Track. This must activate track. What does that do? Does that give me launch control? So, foot on the brake, foot on the accelerator. Jesus Christ! 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, as stated by BMW. That felt like it would do it a lot quicker. Obviously, I'm not going to hammer it on public roads. I'm an upstanding citizen. It's a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. People always say the M5 is fast, and obviously this is like the sleeker version of an M5, but I wasn't expecting it to be that fast. This car, or BMWs in general, is probably the closest you can get to having a Porsche, I would say, if you don't want to spend Porsche money. Although, speaking of money, this car is 120,000 Great British pounds before options, so it's not cheap. So at 120,000 pounds, there's a lot of options, But if you wanted a Panamera for £120,000, it's not going to be as fast as this, because you're going to end up getting something like a Panamera S or 4S. Whereas here you have the top of the line BMW. I would very much recommend this car, but now we're heading towards Asda because I have a craving for some I was gonna make it rhyme, but I couldn't think of anything. I have a craving for Ben & Jerry's cookie dough balls. I love cookie dough balls in my mouth. The front is absolutely fine, but because the sloping roof design, it just means that in the back, if you're a taller person, you're gonna have your head a bit cramped. So one thing the car does have is wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. It means that you can kind of live with the issues of the dated infotainment system. It just looks old, it doesn't look great, but all your media is gonna be handled through CarPlay. Oh yes, and you have gesture control if you wish to do your volume up or change track or anything like that. In the back, in the rear, we have blinds to block out peeping toms, so you can actually put the blinds up well, you could put the blinds up. Maybe you can only do that from the back. There's storage space. The leg support, there has a manual section that I feel should be automated. I'm gonna jump in the back, you're gonna stay here. As I jump in the rear of the car, it was quite hard getting in because this pillar here, there's plenty of USB-C in the front and in the back for your convenience. If you're a middle passenger, it's gonna kind of suck because you're gonna have this piece of leather in between your legs, which isn't great. There is a armrest per child seat, means that I can't put that down, but there we go, and it allows you to have your storage space. And why isn't the drink holder and your drink holder? The key of the M8 competition is pretty cool. It's a lot of metal compared to the M3 Touring I had, which was a majority plastic. This actually feels like a premium key. The only thing is the BMW logo is the lock sign, and I feel like the BMW logo should be the unlock sign because you press the BMW logo to start your BMW experience. But hey, that's just me. The only place I've ever been able to find cookie dough balls is Asda. So they're balls that you put in your ice cream.
What do you say this is?
Cookie dough balls. So you know, like cookie dough ice cream? It's just the cookie dough part. So that's pretty much it. The package has been secured. I've got a bag full of balls, and the BMW M8 competition has surprised me pleasantly. It is firm, but when you go over things like speed bumps, it's not that bad. It just needs a bit more damping, but honestly, M car, so it's not much of an issue. The steering wheel is heavy, but you get used to it. Just in M2 mode, where I set it to be more sporty, I found it too much, so I had to put it back down to comfort. The car performs so well. Honestly, I can't wait to put more miles in this car. So quick observation while having this car, I just did a long distance journey that I haven't done like that in this car yet. And I realized the bolsters on the base portion of the seat are quite uncomfortable. What I'm talking about is these sections here. They're so firm and they don't move much, and it wasn't that pleasant. I'm putting that down to the fact that I think this is a new car, the leather's new, so it's not worn in properly yet, but that's something to keep your mind on if you like to sit in a certain style of seating position. Other than that, the car worked well. There was no active cruise control, which I never knew this car didn't have. So no active cruise control, which kind of wasn't nice considering even like the SF90, Lamborghini Revuelto, pretty much every car now has active cruise control. Other than that, again, it works well. It's comfortable on the motorway. It works well as a motorway cruiser. Panoramic roof would be awesome, but carbon roof just looks so cool. But all in all, it's pretty good. I'm gonna go get my hair cut right now, and then I will see you later.